If you're still using banded exercises for your shoulder injury, hoping that it'll help you get back to jiu-jitsu, this video is for you. My name is Dr. Diana Wang. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and certified athletic trainer. At OpenMat Physio, we've worked with over 250 plus jiu-jitsu athletes to get them out of injury and back to the mats. Let's get back to the video. Shoulder injuries are some of the most common injuries that we see in jiu-jitsu, partially because it is a ball and socket joint, which means that there is a lot of mobility in the shoulder, which requires a lot of stability and strength to be able to protect it from specific movements. Not to mention, in jiu-jitsu, we obviously have submissions where we put the shoulder in these compromised positions, so you can see how the rehab gets a little bit more complex. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 3 things that you're probably not doing right now for your shoulder injury that you should be doing to get all the way back to jiu-jitsu. Number 1, assessing your breathing and your rib cage. The body is 3-dimensional. It doesn't work in isolation. As much as we would want to be able to isolate a specific muscle or a specific joint, what really happens is the above joints and below joints all affect each other. So when we think of the shoulder, a lot of times we have to look at the joints around the shoulder as well, which includes the rib cage. The rib cage plays an extremely important role in the health of the shoulder because if you're not able to fully expand and compress your rib cage, we start to limit a lot of upper body motion. One of the things that we see very often is that when people have upper body injuries, like a shoulder injury or even a neck injury, we start to see an increase in the function of their nervous system when it comes to fight or flight. As in, they're going to be a little bit more stressed out. Pain causes stress. You're going to start to see some more shallow breathing. Thus, the rib cage gets stiff and it doesn't move as well. So when we look at the shoulder, we have to remember that the rib cage can also play along with creating that stiffness or tightness in the shoulder itself, which is why breathing is one of our main assessments when it comes to any type of upper body injury. 2, having good weight-bearing stability on the injured shoulder. This is something we see so often, but when we have somebody that comes in with a shoulder injury, a lot of times they don't have good weight-bearing stability or strength on that specific shoulder. What that means is looking at different movements or positions like planks in different directions. And the reason why this is so important is in jiu-jitsu, not only do we have to post and frame and push and pull, but that requires our shoulder to be able to handle being in specific positions for long enough before we actually have to initiate the specific pushing or pulling motion. The way I see it is if you're able to hold your body in these specific plank positions, then it gives me confidence that we have a good foundation to start to build on top of that to actually get into the more important parts of shoulder rehab. The way I explain it to my patients is if you can't even do this exercise, then how do I expect you to control and hold somebody that is trying to submit you but also putting all their body weight onto you? And number 3, fully regaining and building strength in both pushing and pulling motions in both directions. A big mistake that I see a lot of jiu-jitsu athletes make is once their shoulder starts to feel better, then they just go back to training and they start to neglect everything off the mats. Now, the reality is, in order for you to be resilient and strong and healthy on the mats for the long term, we have to be able to maintain a certain level of strength, stability in the shoulder, in the upper body to be able to have that. And what that means is we have to get into the compound movements of pressing, of pulling in both directions. I'm a big fan of training overhead pressing, even though on Instagram and social media, it seems like some people demonize it, partially because I think it's such an integral part of just being a human being. And also, not to mention in jiu-jitsu, we get into those positions all the time. And if you're not strong there and you haven't trained there, then it makes sense why your body is gonna give you some danger signs. Ultimately, the things that you do in the gym are supposed to complement your jiu-jitsu. So doing the most basic movements like rows and push-ups and overhead press, these are just gonna help supplement your jiu-jitsu training on the mats and keep you healthy for longer. These 3 things make up a large majority of our assessments when it comes to shoulder injuries and things that we do not skip ever, just because we know how important it really is. That's the end of the video. We really hope you enjoyed this content. If you have any questions or dealing with a shoulder injury currently, feel free to reach us at the link below, schedule a call, and we can jump on and see if we can help. But until then, see you in the next video.